Hello again everyone and welcome back to the Zeusdaz Unemulated Retro Game Channel. I go by the name of Zeus, and yes, we finally have Final Fight. Shit game timed for the Amiga. This has been heavily requested for me to do for a long time. I wasn't going to do it because I already did the Commodore 64 version, shit game time that. Link in the video description if you want to check that out. But because I've had so many requests, it's about time I did this. And this brings a lot of heartache to many Final Fight fans, especially those that had an Amiga back in the day. And where do we start? Well, first of all, let's say who did it, and that was Richard Aplin, who did a very good version of Double Dragon 2 on the Amiga, I might say. And it was developed by Creative Materials. The music, as you can hear, I think I first heard this music on a Amiga demo or an Amiga music disc, something, or is the other way round? I don't know, because I remember this tune as a demo on the Amiga, and I saw that first before Final Fight. So whether they've taken that music and put it on this game, or the demo was Final Fight's music on Amiga, I don't know. Maybe one of you can clarify with me. But it's a great tune. It's not actually featured on the arcade parent. It's an Amiga exclusive. But as you can see, looking at that intro, it's very similar to the arcade. It looks very, very good actually. I mean, even the text is pretty similar to the arcade, so I can't knock that. It really does look quite impressive. But the game itself, yes, we'll get to that in a moment. Now let me just tell you this. I've been looking at an Amiga Action old edition of Amiga Action magazine, a magazine I was a fan of because I loved ST Action, and I was over the moon when the team decided to do an Amiga Action because I loved the gloss pictures. I just loved the way it was laid out. It was really, really good. But this is a review from 1991 magazine, Amiga Action. I can't remember what edition it was, but anyway, it says here, I'm going to give you the rundown here. It hit number one. It's got a £24.95 price tag. It has 85% for music, and it's like, what music? The only fucking music in this game is on this title screen. There's nothing in the game whatsoever. It's as dry as a bone that's been bleached by the sun for 100 years. There is nothing in it whatsoever. Graphics, 90%. They do look a bit wishy-washy, we'll get to that in a minute, but then again, the arcade parent had over 3,000 colours. You're not going to get that on screen on the Amiga 500. But this is what it says here. I don't know who's the reviewer of this, but they gave it 92%. 92% for this game. And it says, I quote, "You are certainly going to be amazed at the similarity between the arcade and Amiga versions of Final Fight. Creative Materials have done a superb job, and while retaining all of the graphical excellence of the arcade, as I said, it does look very similar to the arcade, they have also managed to create one hell of a playable game." Really? I go on. The sprites are massive, they are, and move convincingly and smoothly around the play area. To the bash and bop sound effects, bash and bop, yeah, that's all there literally is in it, that adds even more realism. The bash and botches sound like you're kicking a cardboard box. Final Fight is the best game so far for this year. Miss it at your peril. Well, I don't know what you lot think of that, but that's exactly what Amiga Action said in the edition of 1991 and about Final Fight, and it rates it as number one in the league rating. So I don't know who was on the take that year or who the reviewer was, but Amiga Action obviously slightly went downhill by that year. But here we go, let's get on with it. Final Fight, you're going to hear what I think. So you can select the 3 players, which is good. Again, we go for the middle grounded guy. See, look at that, that does look like the arcade. It does, I can't knock it. It's a fucking lot better than what they did to Street Fighter 1, even though it was Teartex that did that. So at least you Final Fight guys that are upset about this have that as a plus. Us Street Fighter 1 fans don't even go there. So Richard Appel looked like he took a lot of this on himself and did majority of the work, so I'm not going to be too shitty to him. But here we go. Now the problem is, straight away, you get stuck. That's a Quickshot 2 Turbo, by the way. Look, it's just, right. So the jab, it's very, very slow. It's nothing like the arcade, obviously. He does the uppercut once you connect, but as you can tell, there's no music. I've tried every button on the keyboard. There is nothing, absolutely dead, and because of it, the game feels so empty. And it's smooth. It moves. You got the weapons, and the scrolling is very smooth, but there's no fun. Even the two-player mode, which is, you know, is okay. It loads as you play, by the way. You might pick up the Amiga 500 disk drive. See, the characters are huge. They really have done a good job drawing them. What Richard Appel anyway has. But the problem is, the playability isn't there. See, he's done the uppercut there. Obviously, there's no sound effects, no voices. But the main issue with this game is they've tried to put too many characters on. Look, already the slowdown is obvious. And yeah, there we go. Now, the problem is as well, if you get stuck in a corner with about 5, 6 or 7 going through you, it's impossible to get out of it. You literally lose your entire life. Again, nothing much there. We go. We got these city guys, just one of you. And another one. Right, back on the street. Again, graphically, I cannot knock it. It's as close to the arcade as you're going to get for the Amiga 500. But again, you can do the old spinner. And of course you can do two-player game at the same time, which is always a good thing. Here's the big guy from the arcade. Obviously less colours, a bit washed out, but... And here's the Andre the Giant lookalike, what I call. But in fairness, they do look like the arcade. They've been drawn very well. It's just the Amiga, as good as the computer is, and I'm a big fan of it. I've still got my original Amiga from the day one. There's only a certain amount of characters it can control at screen at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to get a huge amount of slowdown. And I'm whacking away. I'm just gradually getting through. Look, it's just jab, jab, jab. Finally, an uppercut. There's something major missing. Yes, there's no sound. There's no music, as what I mean is. There's a lot of slowdown. And the playability is lost. There's something, but there's something else missing. It's just, there's a lot of emptiness there. And that's another thing. You can go for ages with nothing coming on. Suddenly you get the whole screen of baddies. See, look, and they push you, so you can't, once it gets, that's what I'm talking about. You can get out of it in the arcade. Now, for one guy to take, see, look at this, look, I cannot get out of this. That is terrible. So frustrating. So frustrating. And of course, as you notice, there's no train. On this level, there's a train that zips past, but you don't get it on here. Maybe that's understandable, being the limitations of the Amiga. There we go. Now I've selected Guy, so I'm going to try him now. Again, slow down. And in the end, you just see, this is the problem now. Now I'm going to get mullered. That's the problem with it. He's done a lot of things in this, Richard Appel that is, that really does resemble the arcade. Unfortunately, he's not included the fun. There's no fun. And as I said, there's a train there normally, but that's completely gone. You do fight on the train, but you don't see the train pull up there. Oh, yes, you do, sorry. Yes, okay. But normally that's going on in the background all the time. It's had to do a bit of a disk load to load that little sequence. So, okay, I'll give him that. And I think on the arcade version, through the windows, you see, oh, for Christ's sake, you see everything move. See, look at this. This is ridiculous. I cannot move. Obviously not a lot of checking was done. Not a lot of playing, testing was done on this. Ah, for Christ's sake, get out of it. Oh, and they move faster. The enemy definitely move faster. You can't get any distance from them. Right, let's try and grab that again. It's just so empty. It feels so fucking empty. There's nothing... There's nothing to... There's no atmosphere. That's what's missing. There's no atmosphere. It's lost. It's gone. It's not included. Looks great in stills, but look at this. Finally, I'll get a... Where are you going? God, blimey. Now, back in the day, two of you could play this as teenagers and you might have a bit of a giggle, you know, something to do on a Sunday, you know, but coming back and playing it on your own, I always found playing games like this anyway on your own is boring. I used to have the Final Fight arcade machine, I used to have the PCB board for my Jammer arcade machine, but once I played it all the way through on my own, I got bored. Of course, later on it came out on a PS2 compilation, Capcom's Classics, and now, of course, you can just upload it on MAME, can't you? Just load up MAME and play it, which is what I suggest you do. But not loading the Amiga. It just seems like a long punishment. Next time I die, we'll get Hagar on, so we want to see all the characters. As I said, the colours, they're certainly colourful, but they're not as, trying to think of the word, vibrant. That's again natural. The Amiga's got a load of colours in its arsenal, but to display it on the screen at the same time during the game, it won't do that. The arcade version's got 3,000 colours at its disposal, so you're not going to get that on the Amiga version. But if only there was some music, it would have made all the difference. Yeah, that's what's missing. Yes, there's slowdown. They could have cured that by cutting back one or two enemies. I know we would have moaned and said, oh, there's more enemies in the arcade, but at least it would have kept the speed. Number two, the fairness of it. You're trapped in a corner with 4 or 5 of them. You can't get out. You lose a life. And the soul of the game is missing. There's no atmosphere. The soul is missing. The fun has gone. And this was a terrible level on the arcade. Most people died on this on the first credit. I think you get to bash up a car on this as well, because originally this was supposed to be the original... Oh, bollocks, I meant to do Hagar. This was supposed to be the original Street Fighter 1 sequel. They soon changed that. It was called Street Fighter 89. God, blimey. It's just... It is no... Yeah, the speed's gone, the soul's gone, the playability's gone, the fun's gone. That's what it is. So, it's shit because of it. It could have been so much more. I mean, if there was a whole team of writers on this, then I would really slate it. But I've got to give Richard his due there. I mean, he obviously tried. He took it all on his own head to try this. And in many areas he succeeded, but in certain areas he failed. It just doesn't work. I don't think you get... Oh yeah, here's a car thing yet. Okay, let's see. See if we can bash this up. I think I've got to go over there now, haven't I? Yeah, let's send over there, and a bit more there, and now I've got to go over... Come on. Oh, did I do it? Oh, that was easy, wasn't it? I think that's level 1 done. Right, we'll carry on a bit more. We'll try and get... Once we lose Guy, I'll get Hagar up. See, yeah, I can't knock it. The characters are drawn excellently. Certainly resemble the arcade. Unlike Street Fighter 1 characters, I could keep going into. I'm still very sore about that back in my day, my youth. But, yeah. I don't know if Richard will ever see this review. I have spoken to before on the forums about Double Dragon 2, where I asked him about why was Double Dragon 1 so bad, and apparently it was because the original programmer became ill with stress and panic that they were pushing him, that Richard had to step in and finish the job that was started. There wasn't enough time to refresh and do everything from scratch. That's what the story is anyway. That's what Richard told me. So I'm not going to be nasty, but he has to admit, he has to take some kind of responsibility and acknowledge that, yes, this game, this version has its faults. There's no doubt about it. What's his name? Andre. It's definitely an Andre the bloody giant rip-off there. Right, yeah, it's oh, see, you don't give it a chance, and suddenly it's the punches. They're so slow. The arcade is so fast and fun. Give it a chance, do they? I want them to actually kill me off because I want to get Hagar on the screen. Right, that's another life gone. Right. Okay. Come on then. Let's go. Yeah, I'm just not convinced. I definitely remember getting this back in the day and looking forward to it, but and realistically, it's all you had, unless you had the arcade version back then, which most of us wouldn't have. See, where did you come from? You just got out of the car. Because you didn't have any PS2 compilations back then, you didn't have MAME, so this is what we had to accept. Just a bit of music would have taken this game a lot further. Bit more disc loading, and yet, see, look at the size of that character. He's definitely drawn him really big. Can't knock him for that. Come on, kill me off a bit. I want to get Hagar on the screen. Come on. Right. Come on. Oh, it's just. Ugh. We'll get to the next level and then I think that'll be it. Alright, that's level 2 done, I think. So it's 2 discs. And if you've got external disk drives, it doesn't take too long for the levels to load. But yeah, I'm just not. No. Oh yeah, I got. Okay, let's die a bit. I want to get game over. Do I get another life? Or is that it? That's game over. All right, we'll quickly bring on Hagar. We'll start another game, but I won't play it very much. I'll just get Hagar on the screen, so at least we can get a look at all the 3 characters. Yes, game over, I know. Right, okay. So I can't knock that. It looks arcade perfect, that does. Right, Hagar. Again. See, sometimes you get trapped. You just cannot fucking move. It's really annoying. And I've never known how to do that bloody power drive. Oh, there we go. There's me saying I've never known how to do it. I don't know how to do it with these big guys, can I? I've already lost a life. I think you press down, don't you, and do it? I don't know. Let's try it. No, must be down. Yes, it is. It's down. There we go. Can I, and him. Yeah, I can never do that in the arcade. I think that would do now. It's yeah, you can't do it with these big guys. They're too fat. And you can do it with them, but you can't do it with them. I just bounced off the wall and killed him. Hagar's got very limited moves. Go away, you little shit. Yeah, I think that will. I think that will do. I can't... Should we just get to that big boss again? Oh, for goodness sake. I've just jumped over him. Go away. Right. Okay, we're on the street. So we'll finish it off at the boss. And I'm going to need to shit rate this, aren't I? Come on, let's get rid of these. Get Mr. Big on, let him deal with me. There he is, right. Okay, what am I going to do? Right, the pros. Looks very close to the arcade, I can't deny that. Less colours, obviously, but, you know, that's the way it is. The title screen, graphics, the text, the player select screen, again, looks arcade, literally spot on to the arcade. The characters are drawn big, no denying that. You can tell the characters who they are from the arcade version. And the levels load quite quickly if you've got an external disk drive. That's pretty much the pros. The cons, a £25 price tag. Way too much. No music, no soul, no fun. Ever get the feeling you felt you've been cheated? As a Sex Pistols famous line said. Something like that, wasn't it? Ever get the feeling you've been cheated? Well, this is kind of what you feel like this here. If you pay 25 quid, you've been cheated. It's decorated. The packaging is nice as far as, you know, the graphics, the tune, the title screen tune, which is a really good tune. The artwork. But once you've undone that packaging and you get down to the playing, it's not there. It's not there. The fun of the arcade is completely missing. As I said, there's no soul, there's no fun, it feels empty, there's no music, there's slowdown. You can get trapped in a corner, you can't get out. I'm sorry, Richard, but it's not good. Yes, it deserves a shit game time rating. It's not fun. So for that reason, I've thought about it, and because there's only one bloke that's really done this work on this game, it's not a team, and because a lot of it, as you can see like this, is very much almost like the arcade, I'm going to give it a 81 shits on the shitometer for Final Fight on the Amiga 500. 81 shits. If there was more people programming this game and it come up with this, it would get higher. But I can't knock it. One guy took it on himself to try and do it, did a reasonable job, but lost the soul and the playability and the funness of the game in the process, sadly. Yeah, it's just a shame, but hey, we got MAME now, haven't we? So I suggest whack that on and have a play on the MAME version arcade. You'll love that. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed Final Fight, shit game time rated on the Amiga 500. And as I said, I've already done the Commodore 64 version. I've said I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can check that out. And I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been long overdue and much needed. So finally, Final Fight has been shit rated and put in a vault of shitness for the Amiga 500. It's just lost its soul. Okay, until next time, take care of yourselves, keep playing those retro games. They're fucking fantastic and brings great joy. Some of them. Until next time, Zeus out.